What? What? Well, months and months have gone by. Nothing and more nothing has happened on this fossilized channel, but I'll definitely continue with this little journey and talk your ear off while I reminisce on this wonderful game that is Pokemon Blue and Red. So I don't have a repel and I'm just gonna go and get a repel. That sounds like a really good idea. So just walking around in circles and going down. Little hilly hills and which go way down into this wonderful little area, and I'm gonna get a repel. Look at me talking right over the montage. This doesn't sound pre-recorded at all. And they don't have a repel. Isn't that great? So let's get a move on. Let's head on back and backtrack to the Mountain of Moon Madness and not get a repel and suffer all the Pokemon interruptions. I'll hopefully say some interesting things while you wait and defeat this woman. She's an evil woman. She's a witch. Burn her! Burn her if she floats, because little rocks do that too. Do moonstones float? That's a good question. Okay, so here I am detouring, destroying all these different Pokemon. Yeah, I had to do a post-edit thing. I mean, you don't want to see lots of this. So anyway, I just reset and had to get onto the Pokemon Center and heal my Pokemon again and, all that kind of stuff because I'm doing so bad. Anyway, here we are again. And, well, there's Mount Moon. It has crackers, biscuits. I should have taken this time to check a map as to where I'm going, like I did as a kid, but I thought, my memory was good enough, so I was wrong, and now I'm gonna take my chances. Geodude over there, everything over here. So, going down these tunnels, I really like how the pathways are all on the same other map. Now, we got interrupted by Zubat. But don't worry about this. This overworld map, see, there's the overworld map with the little pathway areas. And, it's nice seeing the other passages in the corners. Which I find, to be sort of like a nice gaming... Like, this 8-bit graphic sort of gaming thing, I mean, like, it's... I was really... Guys, if you want to stop this playthrough, it would be a good idea. Whoa! I'm so blind. And Mrs. Higsby can learn Water Gun! It's done. Done deal. We have a Rattata that learns Water Gun. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Oh, that's TM1. Alright, so I was looking at Team 11. Mega Punch. Let's see if we can use that. Zapdos. Pikachu. Yeah, I can see that, but I'll keep it for now. Anyway, not gonna battle Rocket Man, and we're gonna continue. And of course that happens, but like what I wanted to say is like the textures they invented for the cave levels. In this game, it's just these wonderful colors they used. It's just, look at it. I'll keep talking about colors because this is a color game, Pokemon Red and Blue. It's just these nice biscuit colors, and it gives you a really nice organized and, bubbly glance of caves, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna avoid Mr. Cave Dweller over there, Hiker, as we move along, and hey, I just noticed that I'm just as brown as the dirt. It's camouflage, we have to watch out. With the Zubat. There's Apocalypse. And we ran away. Silence is a virtue. Also, I was really wondering what these platforms were all about. And yeah, what are these platforms and tiles and in this mountain cave passageway? Also, while Zubat loves interrupting what I keep saying, the motion that I'm going to speak about when we just move here, this jerky kind of strobe-like, motion on all the characters against the background, was that present in the actual Game Boy game, or is it just an emulator quirk, which is kind of one of the big unsolved mysteries in the world of Pokemon. Also, Geodude, hitching a ride, trying to get illegal access, but we already have one, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Because, well, that's a very, look at that thing. So anyway, we really have to finish this part here. Now look at that, look at the emotion.
You might Team Rocket Man!
See what I mean? The jumpy jumps? What's going on here? Anyway, here we are. Let's do this. Destroy you! It's time for the rematch, and now we really, really have to destroy this guy. He's been hanging out for too long with his stupid, grubby, nerdy face crawling on the ground, and we must kill the blood of the otaku. It's long overdue. Alright, so now Grimer, here he is again. As I said before, what I like about Grimer, even though he has a hilarious shocked face here with crazy eyes, I like that he's a giant purple pile of sludge. I mean, yeah, his origins are of course from the story that he's toxic waste. You know, he's a physical manifestation of pollution and damage, and so what else would you put but a pile of purple bubblegum kind of thing. And the thing about Pokemon in terms of the design is that I think his eyes are a bit stupid and but I think the eyes on if you look at the original Pokemon designs, most of the eyes have this unifying and familiar and appealing look, which to me sort of were one of the big factors with, you know, the way they designed the first 151, and then later, which they kind of kept for the second generation of Pokemon. But then, you know, later on they changed that for future generations and put me off as a fan of Pokemon, one of the primary reasons, but that's okay, that's okay. I might talk about that some other time, but now we must fight Voltorrrr.
Voltorrrrr.
Speaking of which, I remember this old story, I forgot to mention it last time. So Voltorrrr, when I was a kid, I was walking to this school, and it's funny because these older kids didn't know much about Pokemon or at all. And I was like, do you guys know Pokemon? And so they're like, yeah, okay. And they were showing me around, I think, the gym and stuff. And I found like a piece of rolled up poster board. And I rolled it up myself, and then I start going, hey, listen to this.
Voltorrrrr. Voltorrrrr.
And then they're like, uh-huh, yeah. And what's the stupid thing about this is I thought there would be someone in this, I don't know what it was, like school tour or something, that would recognize the reference.
Voltorrrrr. Voltorrrrr.
And I kept doing that forever, and I didn't even tell these people what I was doing. I was just going,
Voltorrrrr. Voltorrrrr.
forever and ever. And this kid was like, this older kid was like, hey, this he's so weird, he keeps walking around and saying Voltorrrr. And I didn't even react to that. I just kept going,
Voltorrrrr.
this is so embarrassing and terrible. Now you know. What was that? And it's like, in all seriousness, I thought it was like the Pokemon mating call. I was trying to find someone who knew.
Voltorrrrr.
Instead of just saying, oh no, it's from Pokemon, it's a Pokemon from Pokemon. Anyway, there's coughing. He's paralyzed. I'm doing strategy, guys. Alright, so coughing, you know, I used Thunderwave back there, so using Zapdos. But I totally forgot, like I did as a kid playing this at Target for the first time. If you remember those great outlet store Game Boy sampling things next to the games. Hopefully I found an image for it somewhere on the left or right. I thought you could just make a Pokemon faint and then easily catch it. Same with now. I totally forgot that a paralyzed Pokemon can still attack. I thought it was going to be paralyzed in the same effect that sleep, you know, affects you in the games. But anyway, the things you forget when you think a bit out of the game's logic. Level 16, okay, so I know some of you asked me and told me that, you know, maybe Wartortle should be our #1 guy instead of Galahad as a Squirtle. So I'm gonna keep it up in the air still. I'm not gonna evolve him this round, but next time I hope I'll get some feedback. And I know my viewership has definitely decreased for quite a bit, you know, since the first one, which is, you know, understandable. I mean, I'm not a very exciting guy to listen to. And yeah, we're gonna press B here. And there we go.
We'll each take one. No big greedy.
Alright, so when I was a kid, I always took the Dome fossil, but I know the Helix fossil is pretty cool too. So I will do what I've done as a kid, because I haven't done this for such a long time. Take the Dome fossil. And I shall. Because Kabuto, such a good Pokemon design, and Kabutop's kind of a weird Pokemon design. But then again, you know, it's just something. Aha, we got you.
Far away in Cinnabar Island, there's a Pokemon lab. They do research on regenerating fossils, and I lost my Pokemon. How come I don't black out and go into the Pokemon Center without being? Now I'm just scared.
Well, I'm putting all these people in danger by making these Pokemon faint. Now they don't have anything to defend themselves with. What's going to happen with the world? Alright, anyway, we made it. Yeah, just a little step, Oh, yes, there we are. I always liked how you could see the ending of the level back there as if it would be a very simple process across Mount Moon, but you really get unbelievably lost in the actual process of it. And the cave is, you know, much bigger than you suppose it is. I also like the feeling of being able to see the starting point right next to the exit. I don't know, just very interesting. So here's our route, which was Route 4, and there's some hills, there's a secret TM. I just love these glades that they made. These hills, you can jump off of them, have a great time, and now comes the time. And we make our steps downwards into this wonderful grass we got here. I think Ekans is in this one, so let's see if we can catch something before we will move on into the best city in the entire Pokemon universe. The only reason I'm saying that is because it's blue and Cerulean is a great color, and you know, Cerulean City has to be just one of the nicest places. And, you know, the thing about Pokemon is, you know, it's just one big, giant grind. And the thing about that is that it might not make for a great Let's Play. And I don't know why I even did this, but I think it's because I need to kind of get used to my voice and talking about something. And I know that I got quite a few subjects to talk about. And I'd like to do that, but it's really difficult sometimes when you have to do that. And also, Pokemon is a very patient game. You can't really rush into these things and start battling, you know, with the adrenaline rush. Sometimes that happens, but, yeah. So, yeah, making it a patient game, it also requires you to really get immersed in the world and really understand the mechanics and get used to them. You know, and therefore, take your time. And that's interesting because Misty's Pokemon, you know, Gym Leader number 2, definitely has some higher level monsters. And the grinds, in this case, the ones that we're doing now, are pretty important. And I really think as kids, we really felt that way, that they were important, that we were really immersing ourselves in the world. And hey, you know, many of you guys are even thinking of that now when you're playing X and Y and, you know, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Sapphire, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, I don't even remember. And, you know, all the power to you. Glad you're having fun with it. As for me, look at this. I'm getting destroyed by our level 10 Nintata. And I got Dufui. Dufui's awesome. He has a necktie. And it's a critical. Anyway, I'm just, you know, I'm lost, as you can see. I thought I was going to be really good at this. And what I wanted to say about being a patient game, going through Mount Moon, you know, it really wasn't a breeze at all. And I think I even forgot an extra moonstone back there, so there you go. There's a lack of exploration going on as well, because I feel like we need to keep going on with this playthrough, right? And therefore, it's about feeling the challenge and feeling the grind. It is an integral aspect into this game franchise, but it's also something that might have a difference between when you get older and you don't get so invested in it, especially because you know it's the game and you know your time being spent on this isn't gonna be, you know, I hate saying this, but worth all that much. Look! Sandshrew. Nice. And so that's why I rarely play video games, because I always feel like I could do something more productive in a way. I mean, I'm sure there's many things you can learn playing video games, many things you can experience, and new viewpoints and perspectives that can be expressed in such an art form. I always feel like I could do something more with my time. For example, like making a video instead of, you know, just playing passively. And, you know, there's nothing bad in playing passively as long as you do it in responsible doses. Here I am lecturing you about how to play video games. There we go. Beautiful. Just beautiful. My excellent capturing skills. At least I can capture Pokemon pretty well. So, your time being spent on video games, I don't know, it's hard for me to do that. So, but I'm doing this because making a record, trying to explain some things about it, if I can remember what topics to harken on, develop.